Room 434 at the Beverly Hilton is etched into history, not just as a place where a music legend's life quietly ended, but as a chamber holding secrets that have forever altered how the world remembers Whitney Houston. On that fateful night in February 2012, the yellow glow from a bedside lamp spilled softly onto a thick carpet, steam clung to the bathroom mirror, and a final knock echoed through the hallway. What unfolded inside was far more than a tragic death. It was a haunting tableau of fame's darkest shadows, a puzzle pieced together by the FBI that shattered every comforting theory we once held. Whitney Houston's last night was not simply about an unopened bottle of champagne or a spoon dusted with white powder. It was about the invisible forces that had touched that room, traces wiped clean, evidence carefully concealed, and a story that refused to be neat or simple. Room 434 was not just the site of an ending, it was a chilling reminder of the price of stardom, a warning whispered through the fragments left behind. On February 9, 2012, Whitney arrived at the Beverly Hilton, radiant and composed, carrying a paper bag from a nearby restaurant. She was headed to a pre-Grammy party, smiling at fans in the lobby, unaware that this would be the last time she appeared in public with such calm. Outside, the flashes of cameras captured her brilliance, but behind the door of room 434, a different reality awaited. A floor attendant recalled her bringing back a simple meal, hamburger, fries, and a chicken sandwich, unfinished, as if she had stepped away with the intention to return. Nearby, an open bottle of champagne and half-empty beer cans sat untouched, yet toxicology reports later revealed no alcohol in her system. Who were those drinks for? Question lingered unanswered. An FBI agent who entered the room noticed something unexpected, a faint scent of olive oil, not perfume but the very oil Whitney used in her baths, a private ritual known only to those close to her. In that softly lit room, the smell was a poignant echo of intimacy and sorrow, a silent trace of a woman caught between public adoration and private pain. Scattered on the table were hastily scribbled notes and fragments of unreleased lyrics, revealing a mind wrestling with invisible pressures. The words spoke not of her voice, but of the relentless scrutiny she faced, the subtle rejection rooted in the entertainment industry's narrow expectations of beauty and identity. These were the quiet cries of a woman who had conquered the world stage yet still felt confined by unseen boundaries. In a worn suitcase tucked away in the closet lay personal mementos, a Polaroid of Whitney and her mother in a recording studio, a cassette tape of a practice session, and a Bible marked with many passages. These relics, alongside the unfinished meal and scattered notes, painted a portrait of a woman balancing the dazzling heights of fame with the crushing weight of loneliness. But the scene took a darker turn when the FBI opened the bathroom door. There, on the sink, lay a stainless steel spoon coated with a fine white powder, a small foil packet with scorched edges and damp spots on the counter. Forensic tests confirmed the powder was cocaine, matching the toxicology report that found the drug in Whitney's system. This was no longer a story of glamour and grace. It was a raw confrontation with addiction and despair. Beneath the sink, a plastic bag held empty pill bottles, cigarette filters, and drug paraphernalia, tossed carelessly as if in haste. The smell of burnt chemicals hung in the air, a scent familiar to anyone who has witnessed the aftermath of substance use. Hotel staff recalled a mysterious man leaving the fourth floor via the stairwell, his face obscured by a hat and coat, evading the cameras. Who was he? Was he the last person with Whitney before her final moments? The bathroom bore signs of a struggle with control, a wet washcloth hanging loosely, water streaks on the floor, and a fogged mirror smeared with handprints, as if someone had tried to see through the haze. This haunting image captured the collision of fame and vulnerability, a private battle fought far from the spotlight. Yet, some investigators found the scene unnervingly orderly. The spoon was neatly placed, the foil carefully rolled, and the plastic bag tucked away, not the chaos one might expect in such a moment. Suggested someone had tried to clean up but left in a hurry. This fueled theories that Whitney was not alone, that someone had been there and left before the authorities arrived. Among the most telling discoveries was a cabinet filled with 12 different prescription bottles, each labeled with Whitney's name but prescribed by 5 different doctors. Medications ranged from Xanax and muscle relaxers to allergy pills and antibiotics, a complex cocktail that painted a picture of prolonged physical and mental strain. Toxicology report confirmed traces of these drugs in her system alongside cocaine, creating a deadly mix that taxed her heart beyond endurance. This was not a simple overdose but a slow unraveling, a woman trying to manage pain, anxiety, and exhaustion with whatever means she could find. In the week before her death, Whitney had visited doctors in New York, Atlanta, and Los Angeles, each unaware of the other's prescriptions. The system had failed her, leaving her vulnerable to a dangerous web of medication and dependency. When Whitney was found, face down in the bathtub, the water still warm, the scene was heavy with silence. Her body bore faint bruises, a small scratch on her forehead, and old injection marks on her elbows, silent testimonies to a history of struggle. The warm water may have hastened her loss of consciousness, dilating blood vessels and lowering blood pressure in a body already overwhelmed by drugs. Hours before, a hotel attendant heard the bathtub filling and stopping repeatedly, suggesting Whitney had been in the bathroom for some time before help arrived. Contrast between the lively party just down the hall and the quiet tragedy unfolding behind that door was stark and heartbreaking. Yet, the mystery deepened. Some items from the room, most notably a bed sheet and Whitney's driver's license, were missing when police arrived. These seemingly small details became the center of swirling theories. Who had the time and composure to remove evidence? Was it a family member, a hotel employee, or someone else entirely? The missing license raised questions about identity and control over the narrative. Security footage showed two shadowy figures entering and leaving the fourth floor, faces obscured, movements deliberate. Their presence remains unexplained, adding another layer of intrigue to a night already shrouded in uncertainty. In the days that followed, rumors of a mafia connection surfaced, whispers of a $2 million debt to underground drug dealers, a motive for a cover-up. While the Los Angeles police maintained their conclusion of accidental drowning complicated by heart disease and cocaine use, the conspiracy theories refused to fade. To some, the official story was too neat, too convenient. But others cautioned against reading too much into the missing items and shadowy figures, suggesting simpler explanations: a panicked family member, a well-meaning hotel staffer, or sensationalized rumors fueled by grief and fascination. Regardless of the truth, the story of Room 434 remains a haunting enigma. It is a place where the dazzling light of Whitney Houston's voice met the darkest corners of human frailty. The room holds a silence that screams, a silence filled with fragments of a life lived under impossible pressure, a life that ended too soon. Whitney Houston's legacy is not just her music but the complex, painful story behind her final hours. Room 434 is a symbol of the cost of fame, the hidden battles behind the spotlight, and the unanswered questions that linger long after the last note fades. What do you think? Was Whitney's final night a tragic accident, or is there more to the story that we've yet to uncover? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to know what you think. If this story moved you, please like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the untold truths behind the lives of world icons. Thank you for watching.